coming to your shows and like watching you for the first time?
What do you
hope like people watch you for the first time, or maybe if you only listen to your albums or see you online? What do you kind of hope for folks?
I feel like because I've done so much like supporting other bands and stuff, that I kind of, my set is almost more built for people who have never seen me before, more than it is for people who are like already fans. So my set is kind of like tailor-made to like throw people off or like kind of surprise people with what's going on, because it's kind of, I mean, it's I think it's unexpected. I've never seen anybody do exactly what I'm doing, you know, so I can only hope that people are just simply entertained, you know?
Is there an inspiration behind it, or is it just like you have the freedom as a solo artist to do whatever the hell you want?
It's kind of the freedom and the limitation of being a solo artist, that kind of both of those things kind of made it so it's the way it is, because I started just being an acoustic singer-songwriter guy, and I quickly was just like, I just don't like doing this.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like there's so many people who are so good at it, and I've like toured with like people who are so good at it. Like Kevin Devine comes to mind. He's like so fucking good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never felt like it was me, you know? And so then I started playing to like backing tracks, and I was like enjoying that because it just like filled up the sound more. But then I saw like a video of me without sound on, and I was like, well, it still just looks like I'm a fucking singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started adding like the projections and shit. And then just kind of, once I started doing that, then I started getting into like video synthesizers and trying to figure out how to make sound react, or the visuals react to the sound. And just kind of, it's been, you know, keeping going from there. And I think like next year I'm gonna have a drummer like touring with me. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then kind of you're talking about putting it all together and kind of trial and error. It looks difficult. Like you're juggling a lot of stuff.
Sure,
Does it make you kind of like more tired doing this by yourself than when you were like in a band, or if you're playing with like Antarctica or something like that?
Probably.
Does it make you like exhausted at the end?
I think like my level of being stressed out always goes to the max no matter what situation I'm in. Mm-hmm. So if I have less to do, I figure out a different way of like exhausting myself.
Right.
So I was just talking to Frankie, who's on tour with me, about this, like, because she's been with me, and we played a show yesterday in Chicago, and I was like, I can't believe I have ever done this alone, like toured alone and like not had somebody doing merch for me. Like, I can't even comprehend how I'm able to, when I am totally alone on tour, which, you know, still sometimes happens. Like, I don't even know how I do it, but I only notice it when I am relying on somebody else to like help me, and then I'm like, wow, this is such a fucking huge help. I cannot even comprehend how I can do it without you.
Like taking off one piece of stress from you, can focus it on something else.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah. And this small tour right now, you're ramping up to Fest. Like, you're driving down to Fest.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't done it since the pandemic. How are you feeling about kind of going back down there?
I'm excited. I haven't played Fest in probably like 5 years, I think. So yeah, it's been a while for me too, even without the pandemic. So I'm excited. It's a cool vibe. It's always like cool to, especially just to see all your friends that you've met over the past 15 years of touring, you know?
Yeah.
And just like catch up and hang out and stuff.
And Susie True's playing with the other tour, and they're fantastic.
They're so good.
Is that like a band you just saw them in California, or how did you kind of link up with them?
I think I had a headline
driving down the fest with you.
Yeah, I had a headline show in LA, and I was just looking for a band to play with, and then their name came up. I forget how. Maybe just like Instagram or Twitter friends, mutuals and shit like that. And we played that show, and it was so much fun, and I just loved their music vibe, and then just like vibe backstage, hanging out. Like, they're all just great. And I was like, do I want to meet new people, or do I want to bring Susie True? And I was like, Susie True.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome. And your whole set and everything you do, it's all kind of integrated, even to how you promote your shows.
Yeah.
I know online you make the green screen videos,
Yeah.
which are fantastic.
Thank
Is there like is there an inspiration behind that, or is it just again like I think this is fun to do, so I'm going to do it?
It's mostly fun to. It's just like I want to do something fun, and I want to make something that is worth watching, even if you don't like. Like I want people who don't live in Indianapolis to want to watch the video I post promoting the Indianapolis show. You know, so I was just, you know, I can't even really say like thinking of how to do it. I'm just kind of like throwing shit at the wall and just being like, what is funny to me, what is ridiculous, and it's like honestly, it's like it's like good and bad because hello. The thing, beautiful. I love it. Because it's like it's fun for I think fun for fans to watch, but it's also like the videos are so fucking convoluted and strange at this point that it's impossible to go viral. Like it's like viral proof. Like it could never like, you know, catch on because it's so odd, I feel. But that is also something that I love about it, that it makes it even funnier to me.
Yeah, and like there's a story in it right now,
right,
where you release these for this small like 5 or 6 shows before you do the fest, right?
Yeah.
And now they're every day of the shows are different.
Right.
You have a different one, completely different. It's leading up
right
to something. Is that like is that planned out ahead of time? You're just like, what can I do to make this as
well? I make
or
them
viral
all,
proof as possible.
I make them all at once, like before I leave the tour.
Right.
So that's why they, I think, start to have a story to them, because I'm like, I just get bored so fast with what I'm doing, and just like, what can I do to make this fun for myself?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And kind of last question, like what do you have like coming up next? What's kind of
when this tour is over, the day after Fest, Frankie and I fly back to LA, and we start recording a record, like my next record.
That's awesome.
That will be out, I think, next summer. Yeah.
And do you kind of love the freedom of being able to do that all on your own? And I know you said you went from the singer-songwriter, didn't like that, to doing this now. Like, what do you keep adding to it? You did the movie soundtrack composition.
Yeah.
Like, is the next one kind of closer to a previous album in terms of
it's more
singing?
of a normal. It's a normal record. I mean, I hope it's, you know, I hope nobody ever says that about it, but like it's a
Chris Farren record.
It's a Chris Farren, like, you know, has songs in it, and like, you know, my precious feelings, you know. Yeah, so yeah, and I'm recording with Melina J-Som. She does a project called J-Som. She's on Polyvinyl, and I'm really excited. I haven't like recorded with somebody else in a long time, besides Jeff Rosenstock with Antarctica Vespucci. And I was kind of just like, I'm sick of making records alone, because I have no good memories of making my records, you know, because I'm just alone in my like fucking little studio room. And so that was kind of the thought of like having a producer to work with and bringing Frankie in to play drums and shit, you know, just to like just enjoy the process of making music more, you know, and not like punishing myself.
And also about making music, I got the Sellout record today.
Oh, cool.
It came in today, so I was able to listen to it. What was your kind of thought behind doing Teenagers?
I genuinely like that song. I think it's a great song.
It's one of the best songs on that record.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah,
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great song. And I feel like that song kind of suits my thing, but I also wanted to I didn't want to just like make like a straight cover of it, and I thought about making it kind of like a Harry Nilsson type vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that really works with that type of song. And it was just fun. Dan asked me to do it, and I was like, of course. I love Dan. I love his book. It's a no-brainer.
Well, it's honestly, I think it's a lot, and I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank
Travel
you so
safe.
much. Appreciate
You're
it.
heading to